everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Chelsea. I'm an international flight attendant for US Charter Airline. If you are new, hi, welcome. Today I kind of want to talk about wanting to be a flight attendant in 2025. Wow, I can't believe it. We are in 2025. Wow. Alright, so if you are interested, stay tuned and I will give you the ins and outs of what to do, what to choose, what airline to go into, and more. So I also want to say, if you guys see me looking down to the side, I wrote down topics for me to talk about so I don't lose track, because I do tend to ramble. So let's get into this. What is a regional airline, mainline, and charter? So first, a regional airline is an airline that flies smaller jets that go into less populated areas, okay? That means these aircrafts are about 50 to 90 seats on an aircraft, and they only require 1 to 2 flight attendants, okay? So what flight attendants are learned is that 1 flight attendant to 50 seats, okay? So that's how the FAA gives us. That's one of our regulations to follow and to abide by. Little disclaimer, I also want to say this video is mainly for the United States because I fly in the United States. I work in a company in the United States, so I don't know the process and rules for flight attendants that live in other countries. But this is specifically for the United States. All right, disclaimer over. Let's continue. So with regionals, you have ERJs, which are Embraer regional jets, and then you have CRJs, which are Canadian Air regional jets. There are loads of different tail numbers and everything like that. If you want more on the differences of Embraers and CRJs and how you can tell the difference, let me know, leave a comment, and I will make a video on that. But here is a list of regional airlines in the US. So there's Mesa, there's Republic, there's GoJet, Envoy, Endeavor, Piedmont, PSA, SkyWest, Air Wisconsin. Some of those are also wholly owned, meaning they are under the mainline carriers. So flight attendants that work for the wholly owned regional airlines will have the exact same benefits as flight attendants that work for a mainline carrier. Like an example, PSA is wholly owned by American Airlines, so you'll have benefits that's similar to American Airlines flight attendant if you work for PSA. Now there's airlines that aren't like that, like SkyWest. SkyWest is a regional airline which is contracted by other airlines, and they work with 4 airlines: Alaska, American, Delta, and United, okay? Now they have 19 bases, and those bases, wherever base you get, is what you're mostly going to fly, okay? That's for SkyWest. Republic has 3 airlines, okay? Theirs is United, Delta, and American. Now, if you're based in New York, you're probably gonna fly all 3 of those, so just be ready. And as you can tell, I've worked for Republic, so I know how they operate. And also, if you have questions about that, message me, let me know. I'll answer that too. So that's a little disclaimer, a little bit of information on regional flying. Now let's get to the mainline. Okay, mainline are larger aircrafts that are like Airbus and Boeing. So they have a crew of 3 or higher flight attendants. and their passenger load is over 100 or more. Okay, so again, if you're interested in knowing more about aircrafts, let me know. I'll make another video about the differences between Airbus and Boeing. Okay, let's list the mainline airlines out there. And this is not based on cost. I'm not going to talk about the cost of tickets or anything, because I do know some people will say, oh, this airline is a low-cost carrier. Yes, it's a low-cost carrier, but it's still a mainline airline. Okay, American, Delta, United, Alaska, Allegiant, Sun Country, Frontier, Spirit, JetBlue, Southwest, and there are more that I can talk about. So that's just a brief list of those airlines. Now let's get into the charter airlines. So a charter airline is basically an airline that have unscheduled flights. So most likely you probably won't find the flights on the website or Googling or searching it. You would have to contact the company, and the passengers are mostly in one specific organization. These charter flights can be private, they could be from a corporate company, or they can just be a charter airline in general that is contracted out. Okay, there are tons of charter airlines in the United States, and you would just have to do a little bit more research to figure out the ins and outs of what they do. So here's a little list. This is not all of them, this is just a few. There's Aero Air, Berry Aviation, Atlas Air, West Air, Omni Air International, Elite Airways, Global X, National Airlines, Wheels Up, and this is just to name a few. So yeah, so that is that. And let's get into the next. There's a few requirements that you're going to need to be a flight attendant. Most of these, you do not need a college degree unless you want to work for a private or corporate. Okay, every other type of flying, like regional or mainline or charter flying, you only need a high school diploma. Okay, a valid passport, at least 18 or 21 years old. Okay, there is an airline in the United States, I think it's Mesa, that will hire you at 18 years old. Okay, all the other airlines will hire you at 21 because they serve alcohol. Okay, next you also need to pass a background check, 10 years, a 10-year background check, and then you also need to pass a drug test. Okay, last but not least, you need to have some customer service experience and bonus teamwork experience as well. Once you meet the requirements and you are ready to apply, my best tip is research the airlines. Okay, not every airline is going to fit. Not every airline is going to be the right one. Everyone has a different style, different character, different personality. So you definitely have to do your research, because my choices of airlines may not be the exact same of your airlines. So what I did when I first decided to be a flight attendant a while ago, I made a list, and in that list I included the pros and cons of what I wanted and what I wanted to see in an airline. So for me, what was important was the bases. Could I see myself moving to this base, Or could I see myself commuting to this space? Second was training, paid or unpaid. Okay. Third, the pay. I mean, the pay is kind of important, but we're not here for the pay, we're here for the travel. So the pay is important. 3, what does that company stand for? Do they have bad reviews, or do they what do they fight for? You know, like are they helping the community, or are they hurting the community? Like, research that, get to know the airline, because if you get that CJO and you put that uniform on, you're an ambassador for that airline, so you're representing them on that aircraft. So, and everywhere that you're in that uniform. So yeah, think about that. And then last but not least is, do they have a union or don't they have a union? I think my biggest one for me was the base, and if they training paid, and the union is very important to me. So those were my top pros and cons that I was looking for. Now, also, if you don't know any of this stuff and you have researched and that website doesn't really tell you a lot, ask flight attendants when you're traveling or when you go to the airport, and ask them those questions like, hey, how was your training? Like, what do they offer? How much may I ask, how much do you start at? Or like, you don't have to ask how much do they get paid personally, but ask them what's the starting pay? Like, where do they fly to? When you were based here, what was your type of flying? Like, those sort of questions, and you are ready to apply. This is the process. So you'll have your application. There is one question on there that every airline has. Are you willing to relocate? Yes. No. Put yes. Okay. Please, because if you click no, you're automatically done. Okay. Even if you're not willing to relocate, that is okay. But if you do want to be a flight attendant for that airline, you need to click yes. Okay. As time goes on, you can move to the bases that you want to live in, or you can commute. You know, flight attendants will teach you how to commute and all that stuff with crash pads and everything. We'll get more into that in another video if you guys are interested in that stuff. So once you do the application process, then you will have a personality test. Some airlines will offer a personality test. If not, then they'll go straight into a virtual interview, or they'll do a face-to-face interview. Nowadays, after COVID, a lot of airlines are doing virtual interviews, and if they like you, then they will give you a background check and a drug test, and if you pass that, then they'll give you a CJO, which is a contingent job offer. Basically just means it is an acceptance letter to training. Okay, once you have that, welcome to training. You aren't a flight attendant yet until you graduate and you do your IOE or your OEI, or your OE, which means operating experience. So the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, they supply these airlines with federal aviation regulations, okay? They tell these airlines specifically how many hours a flight attendant needs to have in class, courses, and on the plane to be qualified as a flight attendant, okay? once you have all of those hours and you graduate and you're on the plane and you do your IOE or your OE, then you pass, you get your wings, you're a flight attendant. Every year you have to qualify, so you have to do another training. But every year, the training is not as long as your initial training. Most trainings annually are called recurrent, and they're only 1 to 2 days long compared to 4 to 8 weeks. So a lot of new stuff that you learn and just interesting things, because traveling changes every year, honestly. You may not think it does, but there's always a change somewhere in traveling and in aviation in general. So we just basically stay up to date. I hope this video helped, and I hope I wasn't rambling. I tried to stay on topic as best as I can. Let me just go down the line and see if I missed anything that I want to talk to you guys about. Oh, also, no matter what airline you join, you are a flight attendant, okay? Whether that is regional, mainline, charter, private, you are a flight attendant. You earned your wings, okay? I know a few years ago, some mainline flight attendants looked down on regional flight attendants, and that is person to person. No one needs to look down on each other. We do the exact same thing. Our top priority is safety. So no matter what airline you decide to go into, make sure that that airline is an airline that you stand for, and that you are no longer you are an ambassador of that airline. So be proud of the airline that you work for, and don't let anyone tell you anything, okay? Being a flight attendant is what you make of it, and everyone's different. Everyone's experience is different. Some people you meet may be having a bad day. Don't take that personally. Smile, and hopefully their day gets better. Others will tell you really good things about the airline industry and where they go and stories, and learn from them and learn from the ones that are negative as well, because everyone has their own experience and their own perspectives, but build yours as well. I hope this helps. I am rambling now, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share, and I hope to see you guys in the line, and maybe at my company, who knows. Have a great day and happy 2025, and I will see you guys again.